Welcome and let your journey to soul expansion begin. I'm your host, Kristen Kaczynski. This show will take you on a journey of expansion, encouraging you to release the limitations of your mind and lean into the wisdom of your soul. Remembering who you are on a soul level will help you release your conditioning, expectations, limiting beliefs, fears, and worries, and evoke a life expanded by your energetic alignment. Whether you're an entrepreneur who wants to grow your income and impact, or someone who knows in your heart of hearts that you're made for more, this podcast will help you awaken the power that's already inside of you, allowing you to attract an easy flow of money, clients, opportunities, and fulfillment. In each episode, you'll learn something new, expand your consciousness, and you'll walk away with a glimpse of what's truly possible for you. If you're ready to follow your soul's calling and live a more expansive life, you're in the right place. Welcome, and let your journey to soul expansion begin. Hello. Oh, I always get so excited when I record like a new group of podcast episodes because I try to do them like, 2 or 3 at a time. And then we're also like 6 weeks ahead because, I have a lovely team that does all the editing. So I feel like every time I come back and I sit down at the mic, I'm a whole new fucking person, which is absolutely true because I'm constantly, pushing my edges, shifting, evolving, having breakdowns and breakthroughs. And you guys get to experience that every time you tune in. So anyway, I'm just feeling so good today. I want to start by saying I decided to declare something to my mentor today. And this is something that is so incredibly powerful that I want to keep doing more and more, but being so bold as to declare what you want, right? Like so often we're like afraid to ask for what we really want, or we are afraid to dream too big, or we're afraid to actually be so bold as to declare, this is what I want and I'm not settling for anything less. These are my standards. I don't accept anything less than my standards. Like, woo, that is a vibe. But it's one I've been playing with more and more. And it's, why I'm in this state now. And as we were kind of like jamming back and forth in Messenger, I just like started to have this breakthrough, like even just as I was declaring it to her, because I was reflecting on what have I been learning this year? What have I been shifting into? What's the energy I'm playing in right now? And, this year, I've really decided, well, actually, at the time that I'm recording this, it's still 2021, but you're listening to this in 2022. So I'll say now, in 2021, this whole year of 2021 has been about continuing to choose to have an easier and easier business, continuing to choose that suffering, struggle, and hustle are optional choices when it comes to achieving success. I'm going to say that again. Suffering is optional. Struggle is optional. Hustling is optional. Success can happen without those things. And if you're currently in a state where you feel like you are suffering, struggling, or hustling, then I want you to know you're not alone, because I have been repatterning this experience, this limiting belief, I guess, is what I'll call it now, for all of 2021 pretty much. I had a little taste of it in 2020. I got to experience a little taste on the tip of my tongue of what it felt like to truly let go and surrender and have fun and be in my feminine and let the money flow in. That was my first sampling of that, was in 2020. In 2021, it's been about stabilizing that. It's been about embodying it deeper. It's been about, choosing, even against what everyone else in the industry wants you to believe, choosing that you get to do what you want to do in business. And that gets to be enough for you to be worthy of clients and for you to be worthy of growing your income and impact. I've been posting a lot of things on social media toward the end of 2021 where it's like, you're worthy of clients now, like not after you reach 10K, not after you have, a certain number of followers, not after you reach 6 figures, not after you add paid advertising, not after you create that podcast, not after you DM 5 people 5 times per day. No, you are worthy of clients now. And like, if you really like stop and think about it, what is stopping you from signing a client right now? Let's say it was already all taken care of. Let's say divine intelligence was working on bringing you clients every second of every day. What's stopping you from just getting a client right now? And you may come up with answers like, oh, well, I didn't post on social media today, or, oh, well, how? And I challenge you, and I've been challenging myself all fucking year, so I know how annoying this question is. But I will challenge you to just sit with yourself and ask yourself, is that the ultimate truth? Is that the ultimate truth of the universe? Is that written in stone somewhere on a high mountain where, all the laws of the universe are decided? Or is that coming from scarcity, from a limitation I was taught in childhood, from what I've learned over my life experience, from, limitations taught by society or by my culture or by my upbringing or by my religion, right? Like, where am I buying into these beliefs that I have to earn my clients or I have to earn my success? And what would it feel like if I just decided right now in this moment that I was worthy of them now? Right? And I do this exercise with my clients where we actually use time techniques to go out to a time in the future where the money is already taken care of. They're already making their, quantum leap goal, and it's consistent for them. It's standard for them. It's normal for them. It doesn't feel like this big reach. It feels like, oh, this is just how it is. We actually go to that time in their unconscious mind and we, feel into what that feels like. And you know what it feels like? It kind of feels the same, but it also feels really different, right? So we build up these goals, these income goals or these business goals in our head. And we believe in order to get them, we have to do all of this work. We have to, prove ourselves. We have to achieve it. We have to, post however many times per day on social media. And it's like, at the end of the day, none of that is true, right? Like, none of that is true. That's not the ultimate truth. And I can prove it to you because I know for damn sure that every time I sign a client, I am away from my fucking phone. That's truth right there. Every single time I've opened my DMs to someone being like, hey, I really want to join your program. Can you send me the link? Or I just have one question, but I'm like almost all the way in, right? Every single freaking time that happens, I am away from my phone. And then I pick up my phone and I realize, oh, like 2 hours ago, someone, asked to join my program. That's so cool. I love that. Celebration time. Yay. But it's like we trick ourselves into thinking that the things we do on our phone or on our laptop are actually equating to clients finding us. And yes, we got to do some things, right? Like I'm recording this podcast for a reason because I want to, educate and spread the word and be able to provide really valuable free content, right? Because if I can provide really valuable free content, then you're more likely to hire me. And so this is kind of like my lead generation activity right here, recording this podcast. And also you get to learn something. And also it's just fun for me. I love to talk. So this is like an energy giving activity for me. And this is why I record a podcast instead of DMing 5 people 5 times per day. This is my lead generation method of choice. And I get to choose that. And that's enough for me, right? So, of course we still have to do things, but it's not like at the exact moment that I record this podcast, there's going to be a client reaching out to me about this podcast, right? So trust what you've already done. That's kind of like, that's an edge, right? It's been something I've been exploring in fall of 2021 is like, what would happen if I just trusted that I've already done enough? And I actually started asking myself every single night when I stop working, because I have very strict boundaries around when I stop working, and I will never work past 6 p.m. unless it's like an emergency. But those almost never happen anymore because I've been really intentional about building my schedule and, working with my team and their deadlines so that I don't have to work past 6 p.m. ever in my entire life. And for context, I don't start work until 10 or sometimes 12 or sometimes 1 or 2. And I don't work Fridays and I barely work Mondays. So all in all, I work about maybe 30 hours per week, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But I hell would have to freeze over for me to work past 6 p.m. I just refuse. I'm not going to do it. I just won't. Same with the weekends. I will not work on the weekends unless like I've been traveling nonstop and I literally haven't done anything in like over a week. And it's like, ooh, if I do this one thing, then I'll be like so far ahead and that'll just feel really good. And then I won't have to rush over, the weekdays, right? But anyway, I kind of got off on a tangent there. What I was starting to say was at the end of every day, in order to like settle my whole body, my nervous system, and all the little childhood parts of me that would love to keep doing things just for the sake of doing them, I sit and I ask myself, what would it feel like if I just trusted that today I have done enough? What would it feel like if I trusted that it was already done? There was nothing more that I had to do, that now the universe was taking over. Jesus has taken the wheel and he's getting me the clients. He's getting me the money. He's getting me the opportunities, right? So I encourage you, ask yourself, what would you do if every single day at like 6 p.m. or even 4 p.m., I'm probably going to start pushing that boundary because 6 p.m. is kind of late, especially in the wintertime. It's dark as fuck here in the Northeast. What would happen if every day you asked yourself at the end of the day, what if I could just trust that I've done enough today? And that there was no more for me to do today. I've done my part. Now it's up for the universe to do their part. And then tomorrow I'll do a little bit more. But I don't have to constantly think about, ooh, if I do this, then I'll get that. Or, ooh, for this launch, I need to post this many times and prepare this webinar and, do all these email sequences. Like, I can't tell you how many people hire me and they're like, fuck launching. They like used to do launching and they're like, fuck launching. I never want to do it again. Fuck, 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 fuck. I'm also in a really cursy mood, I just realized. So I hope children are not listening. Sometimes I just get in one of those moods and the F word just feels so good. So we're always evolving. We're always pivoting in business, right? And as I was reviewing toward the end of 2021, the direction that my business was going in, I started to realize that one of my signature programs, my signature group program, Divine Feminine Sales, which I'm sure you've heard of before if you've been a longtime listener of the podcast, wasn't living up to the new standard of my coaching. And so it needed a rebrand, it needed a revamp because it's no longer just about shifting into your divine feminine energy in order to attract soulmate clients. It's so much bigger than that. I've really honed in on the 4 things that have led to my fun, flowy, prosperous business, as you heard me talk about on a previous episode. And those 4 keys, those 4 cornerstones of my coaching are awakening, healing, aligned action, and intentional manifestation. These 4 things have endlessly served me in growing my business without, being in this hustle or struggling or suffering state, but being able to attract more and more income, more and more impact, while also experiencing more and more joy, more and more fulfillment, more and more, excitement and celebration, and being able to really treat myself like royalty all throughout the process of growing my business. And that's kind of like a radical thing to say, right? Like, you get to treat yourself like royalty now. You don't have to wait until you make 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever it is. Like, I always say to myself now, one of my new mottos is I serve my clients best from an overflowing cup. So I have to make sure that I'm filling myself up so much that I'm like bursting with this overflowing ability to hold space and to serve and to educate and to be there for my clients. I can't do it. I refuse to do it from a state of not enough. I am just no longer available for that. And so with Divine Feminine Sales, what we're changing is we're with these 4 cornerstones of awakening, healing, aligned action, and intentional manifestation. We're actually taking that under the brand name Soul Expansion. So you guys know about Soul Expansion membership. Obviously, you know about the Soul Expansion podcast. Well, Divine Feminine Sales, as part of our rebrand, is going to be called Soul Expansion Coaching. So we're, of course, still putting the pieces in place in the back end. But for now, if you're interested in getting more support from me, you can still head to divinefeminisales.com, and you'll notice that we're starting to shift the branding there, and then eventually we'll have a new URL for you. But what Soul Expansion Coaching is it actually includes everything inside Soul Expansion membership, which is why we're bringing it all under one brand name. But it has even more support from me, even more access, and a brand new 2.0 core curriculum all about the four cornerstones that have led me here. So the awakening, the healing, the aligned action, and the intentional manifestation. So we're expanding way, way, way beyond just shifting into your divine feminine energy and the strategic components that go along with it. And we're making it this program that will serve you anywhere from 0 to, consistent 10K months is kind of like the energy behind this program. But it could also serve you if you're making more than 10K, but you feel like you're in this state of having to work for it, having to hustle and struggle and force your way to get to your income goal. This program is really designed to allow you to bring in more ease, flow, and alignment into your business, no matter where you're at in terms of income. So you can find out more at divinefemininesales.com. We'll have a new URL for you, in a couple months when we finish the rebrand, but get signed up now because we're already dripping out the content. People are already loving the changes and we would love to see you inside. Again, it's divinefemininesales.com, and let's get back to the show. But, so many people hire me and they're like, I don't want to launch. I don't want to do cold lead generation. I don't want to post on every single platform. I want to focus my efforts on these, 3 to 5 things. And sometimes you can only focus your efforts on like 1 or 2 things. It really depends on where you're at in business. But for example, for me, here's where I focus my efforts. I run my Instagram content. I create all of that, at least at the time that I'm recording this. I will be eventually handing that off to my team. And I record my podcast and I coach my clients. And that's enough for me. That's all I really need to do. And then of course I strategize and think about how to grow the business, but I don't force myself to do more in order to get clients, right? Like, I don't think I need to do more. I have this strong belief that I'm worthy of clients because I have a business and I'm open for business, right? Like, that's enough. What if that was enough for you? What if you could trust that you could do 3 to 5 things and that would be enough for clients to find you? We're always trying to add more. We don't need to add more. We need to believe we're worthy of more. Right? It's not in the doing of more things that we get more money. I mean, that's one way that you can do it, but it's not the only possible way. It's actually in the deciding that we are worthy of more, doing the same amount. Whew. That's where shit gets crazy. That's where you really start to make money, because it's like you've raised your own valuation of what you're willing to accept. And then the universe rises to the occasion to meet your standards. It's like when you can energetically get behind higher prices. Same thing with like the doing and the being difference, right? So like, same thing with like how we approach how much work we have to, or in my case, get to do, right? Like, I don't want to do anything because I have to. I'm an Aquarius. I don't want to do anything that you tell me to do. So I'm just automatically not going to do it. I'm going to find a way that feels good for me, right? So it's like being able to feel so deeply worthy of signing all the clients that you want and meeting the income goals that you desire by doing what feels good for you and nothing more. And then living your life from there, right? So an example of a client I signed recently, I was at a wedding. I was not paying attention to my phone. I was in the wedding as a bridesmaid. I was having a blast. I was dancing. I was having champagne. It was super fun. We got our hair and makeup done that morning. So I felt so luxurious and bougie and beautiful and worthy. And then I signed, a nearly 5-figure client. Why did that happen? Not because I posted on social media, but because my energy was, I'm worthy of clients always. I'm worthy of clients when I rest. I'm worthy of clients when I have fun. I'm worthy of clients when I'm sleeping. I'm worthy of clients when I'm taking a poo. I'm worthy of clients when I'm walking my dog. I don't have to be doing something to be worthy of clients. That's the hustle trap. When you have the belief that you have to be doing something in order to be worthy of clients, you will be stuck in the hustle trap for the rest of your life until you work through that. But if you're able to start working, doing the deep inner work, doing the awakening, playing with manifestation, playing with taking aligned action, as you start to shift into doing these 4 things that have allowed me to grow a fun, flowing, and prosperous business, then you start to realize, oh, I get to fucking live my life and make money, and it gets to be fun, and it really gets to be this good, and I get to make more money, and then I get to have more fun, and it gets to get even better. Right? It's like you start to realize, oh, I was choosing or not choosing. That may be a triggering word for some people, but now I see it as a choice because I've done a lot of healing. But let's say you're in it right now. It may not feel like a choice right now. So you're buying into the belief that you have to suffer, struggle, or hustle in order to be successful. You're buying into the belief that sacrifice is required in order to build a business. But what if it wasn't? And if you're in it right now, just ask yourself that question. What if sacrifice wasn't necessary? What if I could choose a different way of doing, thinking, being, acting, etc.? What if I could choose the new rules of engagement with my business? What if I unsubscribe from all of the marketing and business and sales rules I've been taught and I chose the ones that felt good to me and I trusted that that was enough, that I don't have to do more to receive more, but I get to receive more when I start to value myself more, when I start to treat myself like royalty now, not in the future, but now. What changes when you start treating yourself like royalty now? Everything, right? It's like in romantic relationships, if you are, sacrificing your whole life for a partner and you're catering to their every need, but you're ignoring your own, what happens when you break up? You're completely broken and you don't even know who you are. The same thing happens with your business. Contrast that with if you're with someone and you decide that you are worthy of being treated like your royalty and you treat yourself like your royalty and you also let them treat you like royalty and of course treat them with that same love and respect. Well, then you have a fucking beautiful relationship right there. That's amazing, right? It's a win-win-win. And actually, something I've really come to understand is my clients actually get more value when I am well cared for. It's like the difference between pouring from an empty cup and pouring from an overflowing cup. Which one do you think is more sustainable? Pouring from an empty cup or pouring from an overflowing cup? Of course, pouring from an overflowing cup is more sustainable. That is the key to getting out of the hustle trap. Shifting into overflow now. Deciding that, yes, you can do the workout and then take a lunch break and then walk your dog and then, have a fun chat with your husband and then, kind of dilly-dally around and go about your day. And then when you feel inspired and aligned, sit down at the microphone and record a podcast. And no joke, that's how my day has gone today. Right? Like one of my biggest desires with having my own business was to have a leisurely day, to not have deadlines, to not have to feel like I was running out of time or there was all this urgency. And so what I started to do was I started to just let myself have that, even if I didn't sign a client yet that day, because who says I'm not going to sign one later today or later this hour or later this minute, right? As you really start to awaken to your infinite potential, and we are all infinitely abundant, like infinite abundance is our true nature. That's why we have such big desires and such big dreams. It's not by accident. It's because that's what we're worthy of. We're worthy of everything we desire. And that's our standard. That's our normal. And the more you start to awaken to that and trust that, the more you let yourself just live your freaking life. And you stop equating the work that you do, like the amount of time that you put in, the hours that you put in. You stop equating the input with the output. Instead, what happens is you start equating how you feel as like the only metric of success. Like if I don't feel good, I work on feeling better. And not like by bypassing my feelings, but like if I need to do some healing, I'll feel my feelings, I'll hold myself in it. And then I'll make myself feel better before I do anything else, right? Like how I feel is the most important metric of my success. If I am stressed out, if I am exhausted, old me would keep going to meet her launch goal or whatever. Current Kristen is like, oh, hell no, cancel everything on my schedule. Nobody talk to me today. I need a day. And you know what happens when I take those days, when I, do the fun things like go to a wedding and not worry about selling anything? I sign a client anyway. And I bet if you think back to all the times that you received a new client, unless it was coming from this really like structured sales strategy or this really, structured DM strategy, but every time someone like organically reached out to you and asked about your program, every time you received a new client that way, it was when it was for the furthest thing from your mind. Like you actually didn't care about signing a client and it just happened. You were so detached. You just like trusted that you were enough and that you were worthy of, having a dance party or taking a nap or playing with your dog. And you were in the present moment and you let yourself live your damn life. And then, oh, there's a client. Cool. Fun. Yay. So to recap, suffering, struggle, hustling. These are not the only way in order to grow a successful business, right? And that's something I have really dismantled in the entire year of 2021. That's been like my mission to be done with suffering, to be done with struggling, to be done with hustling, because I'm not here for it anymore. I don't want to do it. I want to feel amazing every single day, and I'm worthy of that, and so are you. And then the second part is, as you start to really realize that and embody that and practice that from this place of non-attachment, the money shows up anyway. Because when you're holding it loosely, when it's the furthest thing from your mind, but you still know you want it and you still know you're worthy of it, but you're not like forcing it or thinking that you have to do more in order to receive it, then it just flows in with such ease. Because duh, we are infinitely supported and guided. So that was my my energetic ass kicking for you today. If you got something out of this, let me know. I love walking you through some of my own energetic shifts, some of my own breakthroughs. And I just think if you can learn anything, if you can experience a shift from something I've experienced, then that's amazing, right? Like that to me is I am serving the world. If me getting on my microphone and sharing something that I've learned is going to help someone, then I'm serving my purpose in this world. So if it did help you, I would love to hear about it. Send me a DM on Instagram at Kristen Kaczynski. And what are we talking about next week? Ooh. Let's see. We are talking about what it actually means to surrender. Get excited. Woohoo! All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, my loves. Thank you for honoring your soul's calling today and taking the time to listen to this episode of the Soul Expansion Podcast. If you have a question you'd like featured or have a topic idea, I would love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Kristen Kaczynski and send me a DM with your request. Remember, you are a truly limitless being. The limits you see now are only an illusion. Whatever it is that you desire, that's already yours. It already exists in the universe here and now. You simply have to awaken to what you already have. And I hope this episode brought you a little closer to that truth. If you love this episode and would like to give from your heart and appreciation, please take a few moments to screenshot it and tag me in your stories on Instagram, or write a brief review on your favorite podcast platform. Your voice truly matters, and your feedback helps to spread abundant expansion to a broader audience. And what a gift that is, right? Just think about how much abundance will come back to you if you help a friend experience their own soul expansion. And with that, I just want to say thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, I'm Kristen Kaczynski, and I love you.